What's going on, my grasshoppers? How are y'all? So Nick here. In today's video, we're going to be going over a recap of the one trade I took yesterday, as well as a brief market outlook for today. I'm sharing all my analysis in my free Telegram channel. Hit the like button on this video if you like the fact that I'm sharing all this analysis for free and these little pre-market videos and stuff like that. And and then I'll keep doing these. So let's get started. So we'll go over the one trade I took yesterday on US 30. So we thought that price was going to break above this zone, come back and test and start bouncing for a buy. If you watched yesterday's video, I broke down this potential trade right here whenever the market was right here pretty much at this zone. And in that video yesterday, I said if we see two bounces here at this support zone, then I'm going to be entering. So that did happen. Price came here into this zone and we saw price test the zone and start to bounce up on the second retest. We had this first little bounce, and we had a second bounce where price tested the zone, started going up. We had a bullish candle closure on the 3-minute. And then, so I entered right there, called the trade. Price dived down, hit the stop loss. And then right after hitting the stop loss, US 30 ended up running all the way to our original target. So, I mean, this was the only trade yesterday. For me, I was laughing because like the same thing happened last week. If you guys remember, week before last, we had a nice winner over here, but this one, I mean, the same thing happened. Like it pinned the stop, ran all the way to the plus 5R target. This was almost the same thing, hit the stop, ran up to it would have been 4.6R target. So if you would have been risking 1K on this, you could have made $4.5 grand if it would have worked out. But instead it stopped out. So like from my experience, the past few years trading, you cannot avoid liquidity spikes like that. You just, I have not found a consistent, predictable way to avoid them. Because sometimes you'll get into trades and they'll just go into profit and there won't be any of that weird like spiking past the zone. The only way to get around it is to have a wider stop loss, but then that of course lowers your risk to reward ratio and it does increase your win rate. However, you're not winning as much on your winners as you are, you know, if you have a higher risk reward. So it's like a balance. Everything works whether you trade it with a wider stop and lower risk reward or whether you have a tighter stop and a higher risk reward. All the little stop outs are okay because, you know, whenever you win like a couple trades that have like a plus 5R, you know, you can have a week where you lose like 5 trades and so you're down 5R, but then you win 2 of them. And so that's plus 10R. So you still come up plus 5R in the week. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it. It's kind of dumb though, because this has happened to me quite a bit the past 2 weeks. It's cool because though, like even the past 2 weeks with all like the little break evens and stop outs and then a few winners, I'm still roughly break even on FX the past 2 weeks. But yeah, that was kind of annoying. Got the move right, but it just stopped out before going. So that was the one trade from yesterday. So let's head over to the other charts. I haven't done any analysis yet, so you guys are going to get to see all this from scratch. So looks like GJ never fell down here and started to retest yesterday. I put a poll in the Telegram channel about asking whether or not GBP JPY was going to go up or down. Some people said down, some people said up. I didn't know, so I didn't trade GJ yesterday. We did have price sort of find support here at this zone. Popped up, made a higher high, and we're now retesting this zone again. I wouldn't be so quick to try to jump on buys for GJ because GJ's already tried to come back down into here and make a higher low, but failed to put in a higher low right there and continue up. Instead, GJ broke this zone. I would not be surprised today if GJ finds some support somewhere in here, comes back up and tests, and if we see a bounce right there. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be waiting on this trade right here, just because I think that, you know, GJ's broken out of the uptrend structure for the time being, you know, at least for this time frame. And what GJ could be doing now, I'm going to have to widen out this zone. I'm not going to trade off of it, but I'm going to have to widen it out. And so for now, since GJ broke below this 1 hour zone, I'll be waiting on a retest. And if we see rejection here, then I'll look for a continuation back to the previous lows. Entry will be, you know, in lower time frames. I'll use a combination of minute 15, minute 5, minute 3. Just to see the rejection. And it's nothing complicated. All I'm looking for is just something like this here at the zones. Like when price comes in, it kind of like hits the zone first and bounces away, comes back a second time and starts to bounce in the second test. That's fine. Just 2 or 3 bounces is all I'm looking for. And it's nothing complicated. It's nothing precise and exact and this and that. Just looking for some rejection and trying to get an entry at the zone. If I do get entry to this trade looks something like this. So target down here, entry somewhere at the zone, stop above. If I'm not able to get an entry at the zone, I won't be taking a trade. I won't enter if it goes down here. I'm gonna wait. I've been trying to get at least a 1-to-4 risk reward ratio on most of these trades, just because it's so much easier to stay profitable if you're like day trading zone to zone. So that's it on GJ. I won't be looking for buys just because we have two zones here. We have this one here, and we also kind of sort of have this one, but I'm not sure. Yeah, so yeah, so I don't know. So we'll see what happens on GJ, because then all this crap could be screwed up. We'll see what happens on GJ. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna be taking anything, because now if this zone is up here, then there's not enough room for it to fall, unless I'm targeting like down here. I don't know. I'll share in Telegram whatever I choose to do. You guys can watch it happen live. So now we've got Euro JPY. So Euro JPY is approaching a big H4 barrier. We've got a resistance zone up here. This one's constructed off the H4 chart. I guess we'll just go so you can see. But it's just a support and resistance level where price is bouncing at. Another thing is back in here earlier this month, I called a sell right here on Euro JPY, and then price went up, hit the stop barely, and went up all the way down here. This one would have been like a 1-to-15 risk reward ratio winner because the profits was at the previous low, but instead it stopped out. I've had this month still has been profitable, but man, it would have been a banger month had I not been stopped out on a couple of really stupid trades before they go. I mean, it's been super goofy. With the rest of this month, EJ, I've had this one for +5R, and then I had this stop out here last week. So EJ's still been a profitable pair this month, but it is what it is. So here's the plan for EJ. I might have considered taking a buy. In fact, I would have taken a buy in here. Look at that. It's one bounce and then a second bounce right here. So I would have taken a buy if I'd have been awake for this. This probably happened during London, during like the middle of London session, like 2 a.m. my time. So what I'm probably gonna be waiting for is something like this, like for price to test here and start to like reject. What would be even nicer is if it breaks above, but then dips back below, breaks and retests, and then I look to sell. If it snaps above but fakes out and breaks back below, comes up and retests and starts to show like a little double top on the lower time frames, I think that would be like a better trade to take. But yeah, for now I think EJ will continue up till at least 130.2, and then we'll look for some trades. So AED JPY, so it looks like this was good right here. What happened here? So yeah, this happened during Asian session last night. I typically don't trade Asian session. The spreads are a little bit wider for me. But this was like, what the hell? I should have been looking, man. I should have traded Asian session last night. Check this out. So this is a H1 level, right? So this is exactly what I trade. So H1 support resistance level. We'll go back to the H1 just so you can see. But it's just a H1 support or resistance level. Only the clear ones. Meaning like I don't trade zones like this crap in here. Like I wouldn't try to trade a bounce of that if it's not reliable. But if it's a zone that just keeps getting respected every time pretty clearly, it's like support, resistance, support, and now testing support again. Those are the zones I trade. So last night it looks like price broke above, came up and tested. So this outcome here is what I was looking at trading. Didn't happen during the New York session, happened during Asian session. So it still played out. It's cool. But just to give you guys as an example, like this is how I enter my trades. I wait for the first bounce. So minute 5, usually I'll go to the minute 3 as well, just to see what it's doing. So price has come here back into the H1 zone. You wait for that first bounce, cool. Then you wait for price to come back into the zone a second time and start to bounce on that second time. If it bounces on that second time, then it's fine to take a trade at the zone. A stop, not just below the lows because it's very tight, but a little bit below the lows and the zone, just to give yourself enough room in case it spikes down a little bit more. And then a target just before the previous highs. And I probably put my stop a little bit wider than this, maybe like something like that. because that gives you room in case it goes to like test the lows again or just past it. It won't take you out of the trade. But if it comes all the way down there, then yeah, probably not a trade you're gonna be in anymore. So, and this was, if you look at US30, the US30 trade I took yesterday, it was pretty much this exact thing. Like price had come and bounced, and it came bounced the second time. It just, it works like half the time. The other half the time it doesn't work. US30 yesterday was the exact same trade as this. Like it had come test the zone once, then it came tested a second time, started to bounce with that little bullish candle right there. You see, right? In this case, it didn't work. It was -1R, but in the cases where it does work, then it's a great trade. This one would have been plus 4.5 units of risk, or 4.5 units of gain, because it's a 4.45 risk reward ratio. Risk 1K, make 4,400. If you lose, it's fine. You lose 1K, whatever. So yeah, that looks good. So another thing with AJ, is it's kind of like EJ and GJ. We've now failed to put in a new structure, high or low. Instead, we've come back all the way to this low here. Sometimes these second bounces of support will still work. I typically like to trade the first one. From my experience, it's more reliable, but that's not to say that the second bounces don't work. An example of this is how price broke above here, came and tested, and the second bounce worked, and the third bounce even worked right there. Same here, it broke above, tested as support, bounced, and then the second bounce right here came and tested and started to reject, and it worked. So, that could happen right here. Sometimes I'll take these trades and sometimes I won't. We've already had a first bounce here. Price is now testing a second time. Yeah, I don't know. I have to watch it for a little bit and see. What I could totally see happening is coming up here, and then if price starts rejecting that, I'd look for a sell back down to this area and then just let it range out for a day or two. And if that doesn't happen, then it'll just flash below this zone. But that would still be fine, because then we'll probably see a bounce right there back to 80.7, and then you could look to take a sell there anyway. Either one of these two scenarios for ADJPY is what I'll be looking to play out. And I'll share everything live in Telegram. If you're not in the free Telegram channel, just hit the link in the description of this video. And I want to be clear, because there's a lot of people who message me saying, no, you said it's a free group and it's a paid one. I have a paid one, and that's the Mission FX students group. Yes. However, there is the free Telegram channel. But the fucking problem is that on Telegram, there's all these fake accounts and there's fake Telegram channels of me. And so that's why I say the only way you can get access to it is by going through the link in the description. It's the free training link. If you click the free training link, you put in your name and email, then you get emailed a link to the Telegram. Okay, it's that simple. So just for those of you who are like confused, thinking like, oh, Nick's an asshole. He says it's a free Telegram, but it's paid. Yeah, we have a paid one, but you get emailed a link to the free one if you click the free training link below and opt in. And then it gets delivered to your email. It's literally at the very top of the first email you get from me. So just hit that link if you want to join, and then follow my trades. So now GU. So if price comes down here to this support level, we could start seeing a bounce right here back to this zone. And let me just make sure this support level is fine tuned. Yeah, so this is weird. So check it out. If you use the most extreme low down here, the support level is lower. If you notice that price also stopped right here, now it makes you wonder, like, well, damn, is the support zone like up here then? Like what is it? I don't think that would be a bad zone at all. We've had 3 1-hour candles, 4 5 1-hour candles close. We just had one dip below. So it looks like this actually might be the correct support level right here. So I'm going to use this one. So what we could see from GU is we could see price come and start bouncing here. This wouldn't be a break and retest, but it would just be a retest of a support zone with rejection. If it starts to bounce, it's logical to think that price might come up here to this next zone around 1.336. And then if we see rejection there, then price might bounce somewhere around back here to this support zone again. The only way this wouldn't happen is if we continue to see insane bearish strength, at which case if price breaks below this zone, the next stop is a daily support further lower. Further lower. And we'll go to the daily just to get a quick glance at that. all I've done for this daily support is I just connected these two lows right here. There's a low right there, and there's also a recent low right in here. That's how I got the daily support. That's an area price could stop at, so that's why it's on my chart. So yeah, on the 1 hour, this is pretty much the only two scenarios I see. Is we may see a bounce here, and if we do see a bounce here, then we'll come up here, probably retest, and I'll look for sells in here. If not, if we just see price continue through the zone, then a break or retest here would be pretty nice because we've already got the bearish momentum. A break followed by a retest, and if we see rejection, taking sells down to 1.3573, which is that next daily support. So these are the two trades I'm going to be looking for today. Oh, it's actually maybe three. This is one. This buy right here might be one, and I just say that because it's a pretty clear level. And then this sell up here might be another one. We'll have to see. GU's been a pretty good pair to me this month. This is all from September. Anything else? Yeah, so just these. So I had -1, -1, -1. So 3 losing trades for -1R each, and then I've had 2 winning trades, one for 4.5R and one for 4R. So that's about plus 8.5 units of gain minus the 3 units of loss. It's about 5.5 units of profit for GU this month. So that's it. The first 2 weeks of this month have been great. The past 2 weeks, which we're at pretty much to the end of September right now, past 2 weeks have been break even for me, but whatever. I mean, still a profitable month. So now let's look at EURUSD. So EURUSD looks like we just had a break and retest of this 1 hour zone here. So we had price break below, come and retest, and it's already come and touched the lows. This would have been a pretty nice trade. I mean, let's see what it would have looked like on the minute 5. For those of you wondering, like why is he going through hypothetical examples of trades he didn't take? The reason I'm doing that is to show you why trades could have been taken. So that way, not only do you see me trade this live in Telegram and share my live analysis every morning along with recaps every damn day. Not only that, but you also see the trades that I would have took had it been there at the chart along with the explanations why. So that way, when you go find these trades on your own, you have a system for entering them and you know why and how to go about these trades and stuff. So, I mean, I just do it to share it with you guys. So this one, I can tell you right now, I would not have been able to have taken this trade. Here's why. For one, this zone, that looks like it's the actual zone right there. The problem is when price hit this zone, it didn't stop. It just continued up above it. This would have been really confusing. It would have broken above, tested as support, but then dipped back down below. And then it would have come here, tested again, and then had sharp rejection. So even if you would have considered these two highs right here, kind of like a double top, you do have like a pin past the high right there. But even if you just would have taken these two highs right here and said, that's my first rejection, this is my second rejection, your entry would have been a bit below the zone, like right here. Your stop would have been, it didn't have to go above that high because if that's just a liquidity spike, it's not that important. Your stop just needs to go above the actual level. And a little bit of room past the previous high in case it tests again. But this right here, I mean, this would have been a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio trade. I mean, it still would have been fine, still would have worked out, but I like to get my entries a little bit better at these zones just because it makes it so much easier to be profitable. I would have been waiting for price to have come up to the zone again and start to test and start to bounce up here with rejection. And as long as I was able to get an entry up here at the zone with a stop just above, I would have taken profits at the previous lows. This would have given like a 1-to-5. Even if your entry was a little bit shittier and your stop was at roughly the same location, it would have been at least a 1-to-4. That's what I wait for. So I miss out on the 1-to-2s and 1-to-3 risk reward ratios a lot. But I'm happy with it because it still makes everything profitable. And EU's been another great pair this month. I did not take these trades in here. So let me just take these off. This is something I was looking at with a client yesterday. But for EU this month, where are we at? Where's my EU trades? So nothing in here. We go all the way back. So this is the beginning of the month, right? So August, September. So how many trades? So 3 trades on EU. So I haven't had a loser on EU this month. I had plus 3R here at the beginning of the month, plus 3R here, and then this was plus 0R. This one came back for break even. And these were before I started waiting for only 1 to 4 risk reward ratios and up about midway through this month. Just because I found a lot of the trades that I would have taken that were plus 3R, they would have gone to plus 4R, and that extra unit of profit can help, pay for some losses and increase the profitability. So up plus 6R this month on Euro USD. So I mean, it's been a good month on EU. I haven't taken any trades since then on it. So that's that. AED USD. She's kind of been sideways for the past 20th, so a little over a week. We've been kind of going sideways. Haven't found any trades I want to take on AU. The zones are just looking so sloppy. I mean, this one, I wouldn't even really count this as a zone. Price just barely respects it. We did come almost to the previous highs yesterday. That was cool. Yeah, I don't see anything on AU. We could see a bounce right here, but this is kind of just a random support zone just because there's just that one rejection. This is sort of respected in the past, the support resistance, but it's not something I'd rely on to trade. And even if we broke back below and retested it, profit targets would be at these lows down in here. I mean, this could work, but I don't know. I think there's other opportunities that look a little bit better right now. So I'm going to be not really watching this one today. US 30, let's revisit US 30 for today's analysis. So we've got this damn zone again. We've got this same zone up here. I will be waiting for price to get up into this zone. I mean, it's still respecting a support resistance. I've got this more fine-tuned zone in here. So I'm going to be setting my alert in here. I mean, as much as this was frustrating yesterday to see, like that stop out before going in profit, I mean, it's still respected the zone. I mean, if you go to the 1 hour, it's still being respected nicely. If it still comes up and tests, we might see a reaction. This previous low would be my profit area. So let me show you what I'll be looking for in US 30 today. I've got an alert sitting up here at the zone. We'll have to see price push up into this zone, the support resistance level. We'll have to see it start rejecting at least twice, at least one rejection and then a second one. And if it does that, I'll be looking to sell US 30, something like this, an entry up here, a stop loss just above the zone. Let's just say the entry is a little bit lower because we enter after the rejection or something. I will look to take profits just before this previous low down here. So this should be a nice trade, if it gets, if we're able to get an entry and if it sets up, because obviously it could just shoot up above this zone and smash above it, and that would be that. US 30 is a game of patience, but she's been a good pair this month. Let's go back to the beginning of September. So the first ones were in here. So -1 and -2. Well, that one won, didn't it? I mean, let's go check. These are the same old trades over and over. Yeah, so first 2 trades this month were stop outs. Then we had a plus 3R winner, plus 3R winner. So this was -2R plus 6R. So it's plus 4 units of gain. Add in this one 5. This is plus 9 units of gain. -1. So it's 8 units of gain. And then minus the 1 loss from yesterday. So it's still 7 units of gain for US 30 this month. So if you're risking $100 per trade, you could have made $700 from all these trades at US 30. You're risking 1K per trade, could have made 7K. So it's still a profitable month for US 30, and just like most of the other pairs. Yeah, so, all right, cool. All right. Even though the past 2 weeks have been break even, whatever, at least it's going to be a profitable month, most likely. Unless we just have like 20 losses in a row. This, like in the next few days, if we have 20 losses in a row, that'll probably wipe out this month's profit. But yeah. So for gold, there was this trade in here. We already went over this yesterday. I was asleep for that, so I couldn't have taken it anyway. Here in the minute 15, looks like price is respecting this support level. We're like bouncing a couple times here. Let me go to the H4 and see what gold is doing. So we're kind of scooting lower with these lower lows, lower highs. This thing honestly looks like it's about to like just fall off a cliff right here. We've tried to find support so many times, we just can't make any new higher highs. Yeah, this thing looks like it's about to fall off a cliff. I don't see anything clear on gold. I could see like a little bit of a bounce right here, but it would be a matter of like how long are you looking to hold the buy on gold? Um, yeah, I'm not even convinced. I'm not even convinced that this is going to go. We've had this first bounce here, come test it, had a second bounce. So if you were trading this, you'd technically already be in, like with the entry right there. The stop loss, I mean, you could put it below that low, but then again, this zone is kind of weird because you do have a rejection here, but then you have price pinned below the zone here, so now you have to extend the zone out. So now you'd want your stop below that zone, like in the low, because this is the actual zone. And your target, I mean, you'd have to really be shooting for a big target to make it worth it, unless you waited for like another entry, like down in here or something. Then you could probably tighten it up. I don't know. Yeah, there's stuff that looks better than gold to me right now. Plus we've got all these like this weird support zone in here where it's like flashing through it over and over. Looks sort of like it's just broken and retested it. Now it's dropping. I will be leaving gold alone today. SPY, we'll see where SPY goes today. Bitcoin, I'm still waiting on my buys on Bitcoin here at around 38K. I don't know if we'll get them. This zone here, 44K, is still holding as resistance. We had another test during yesterday's session, around New York session, London, New York session. And Bitcoin did still reject this 44K price zone. So I don't know Bitcoin's going to do, but I'm be looking to get a lot of Bitcoin, like not a lot, but just starting to scale back in around 38K if that occurs. And I don't know if it will occur, but if it does, cool. I'll look to start building positions. And if it keeps going all the way here, it'd be good to like get buys back around 28. Imagine how panicked out everyone will be if it comes all the way back to 28. And even better, if it has a little bounce there, but then goes lower. Oh my gosh, people will be so panicked out. But from here back up is 100% growth. And even if you get like an entry here, like you get half your position size here, and then you buy some more down here, your average position will be probably somewhere in here, which is like 34K. From the average position size of that, it's still like an 80% growth if it just returns to the previous highs at some point. It could take a month, it could take a year. I think Bitcoin will be, I mean, not a bad idea to put a little bit of capital in and then leave it long term just to see what happens. Because if you're wrong, you lose a little bit of capital. But if you're right, then you'll make there's a lot of money to be made, like 5x, 10x, 20x, 50x for Bitcoin and some of the altcoins. So it's worth a shot to maybe put a little bit in. So yeah. So there's that. There's also stocks. Stock markets took a murderous beating yesterday. If you look at how much red there is over here, like almost everything except somehow Tesla was up 2%. Somehow Tesla broke the highs even though the whole market was down yesterday, and Facebook was break even, but like everything else was just down. I was waiting on Tesla to come down here into this zone down in here. I'm not so sure it's going to happen anymore. Tesla's broken above this area. Now it's coming back. I think this outcome might be good. 780, looking to get it around 780, 770 to take profits at the previous highs. If price does come back into this area and starts bouncing as support, which in fact I will set an alert here, we could see, and if the entry's here and then take the profits around previous highs, that'll be a 15% increase for Tesla. Tesla's been a good pair this past year. I took some more trades further back in here at the beginning of the year before I started calling my stock trades, but the past two trades that I've called in the signals group, one was here, this was a plus 9% move, and then one was right here. We took profits just before the previous high, and this was the same thing, about a 9% move. So that's been good. I've made probably 50K so far trading stocks just since July with everything. I mean, there's been multiple day trades, swing trades. Peloton we took from here going up. This was a 20% move. This one up to here, I closed a little bit before, so this was about a 10% move. We also entered a trade here, and then we scaled in here, and then I cut that position right here at this level, and then I broke even on the first position. On the second position, it was like a 12% move, but that was only half a position size, so it was more like a 6% gain on that. And now we're currently sitting in a position right now here at this support level. But yesterday was it was bloodbath. It was down 1% on the open trades, and then down another 1% after hours. So roughly a 2% losing day yesterday in open positions. No positions were closed, but in total, this is pretty much, it's 4 plus 3.5K. It's like 7,500 down. So, even though I've made about like 51K the past, what has it been? Like about 3 months since July 1st when I started calling all these trades. Maybe about 50K. Roughly 8K of that has just been wiped out yesterday alone. So, I mean, I'm waiting, but literally everything was red yesterday. Moderna has come all the way back to like where the entry was. This one was up like at one point like $6,000. The open position lost 4K yesterday. The reason I'm not worried about all this is because long term, these companies are probably going to continue up. I mean, when you look at these like Starbucks, just look at the chart, look at the daily chart. You really think Starbucks is going to crash? I don't know. I'm not convinced. Target, you really think Target is going to crash? I'm not convinced it's going to do it. Moderna, it's been banging up since COVID of last year, making higher highs, higher lows. I even had Moderna down in here. I got in on this, it was the first one, and I held through the next one, and I took profits at the previous high. This was a 50% gain. Now I wasn't using my full position size, so I was only using like 20K. So I still made like 10K off this. But had I been using my normal position size of 50K, I mean, that would have been like 25 grand. And I just, I didn't, crazy, but it kept on ripping up like crazy. So we got in the dip right in here whenever price had come back, broken above this resistance, tested a support, started to bounce. Then it came back in here and started to push up again. So we got entries. We got an average position around 385. And it was up like 20% at one point, which was for like 50K, and it's like 10 grand. And now it's pulled back roughly to the entry. I mean, maybe still a little bit in profit, but I'm going to be holding. If it goes all the way up here, it'll be like a 10, 15K trade, probably close to 15K. So I'm good. That's just if it gets to the previous highs. I'll be managing the trade if it does something like this. Like if it breaks below this zone in the trend and it comes and starts testing and finding resistance for a day or two, I might consider getting out. But even then, as long as nothing fundamentally changes with Moderna and it's still, there's like a vaccine company and it still has a utility for COVID and everything, I think it'll at least come back to the previous highs. So I'm not too worried. Tesla, I'd like to get longs on that. Apple, that's why I'm just not worried about any of these companies. They're all so good. I've murdered Apple, all of this stuff. It's just so it is what it is. We have positions sitting here at 148. I'll just kind of sitting through it all, and I'll be managing things if they take like a bad turn. But even if they do, these are good companies. They're great. So they're not gonna keep dropping forever unless something fundamentally changes in all of these companies. So yeah, that's it. This is all cash portfolio, by the way. This is not leveraged, so it's perfectly risk protected against something crazy happening. It's all just cash. There's none of this dollar amount you see here. This is all cash in the account. It's not leveraged at all. It's an unleveraged Robinhood account. So that's that. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to today. I'll share my trades and stuff like that, and we'll see what the market gives us today. It could be another break-even day. It could be another losing day. It could be a big winning day. You just kind of never know. When it comes to trading, you just got to keep trading through your system. Just got to keep trading through your system, doing the same stuff over and over, controlling risk. You're not going to come out profitable every day or every week, but you'll come out profitable most months out of the year, in my opinion, if you've got a good trading system. So that's what we do. Simple and consistent. If you like this video, hit the like button, consider subscribing, link in the description for my free training, which you get access to my free Telegram channel if you want to join that, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.